everyone's just fine. Okay. You should pull it together like my browser window.
That's fine. Should I close everything else that you have? Oh no. That sucks.
Oh, please. Don't need that. You need it?
No, you're doing that. Oh, I think I need this.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's still more stuff. Cat knows. Yeah. I like it. Okay. Now I'm going to stay there.
Questions with your notes? Do you have some screenshots for you? I've read about it. And now, Chromecast.
Well, I just want to make sure. Why is it still? Oh, yours? God, this is weird. Because I can see myself over there. Ta-da!
Yeah, so I've got this camera working. She's muted.
Do you want me to unmute me?
No,
Oh, that's right, the mic, okay. Fancy. I can't like walk around?
we can have
Is this outside? Am I good here?
you're good like there.
Good, sir. I'll probably hang out over here, so.
Maybe.
Oh no.
We are out of place. Trying to make a deal with I think Carter's more, a little more honest than Chromecast on some of the other No, you have to go to, go to the verbs. No! That's so good. How's that going? Where'd you move in? We just moved. Right next to. All right. Yep, on the phone. Who's going to start? All right, well, it's 6:30. As much scrambling as there was, I think we're going to start right on time. Thanks, everybody, for coming out to Google Developer Group. We meet monthly, usually on the first Tuesday of the month, and talk about Google Developer tools and how to implement them. Everybody found the space okay. We're going to start most likely, so next month we're meeting at Code 42, and then we've got a bunch of events in June for Google I/O Extended, so look for announcements for that. We've got Augusto, who we've had a number of fun events at before. in the past, and most likely we're still waiting for official sign off and green light. We'll also have an IO Senate event at the Nerdery this year. So kind of each end of the Twin Cities. I think it'll be great. So we are a community group by the community, as Brad likes to say. And we have this month. There's some other announcements I wanted to mention. What were they? So this month is Nominate a GDG month. So the Google Developer Groups are, and actually the Google developers nationwide are starting this program of Google Developer Experts. So if you already know somebody who is kind of expert in their topic, we're globally and nationally especially are trying to nominate experts to be recognized, especially by the Google developers. So they'll show up on a list on developers.google.com. And those people who qualify as a Google developer expert would be somebody who is kind of a recognized expert in their field, who is able to speak and advocate for the topic. We've got we're hoping Daniel would be here, so we should pick on him. But Daniel Liu is we're going to nominate him collectively as a Google developer expert. He's, clearly a good speaker on Android. He's regularly posting on Google Plus to have to kind of promote and be excited about the topic. If you can think of, I think any of the Google products, they're willing to have a Google developer expert process. Did you apply?
Yeah, so I'm in the interview process. So there's basically like 4 criteria. So it's what code have you written and things have you built and actually launched so they can see. Community engagement. So are you on Stack Overflow? Are you in the bug trackers? Are you in things like that? Speaking engagement. And then I forget what the fourth one is. I'll try and look it up here if I get a network connection.
So that's kind of an exciting thing. And now we had a global summit a little over a month ago, not global, North American summit for Google, the GDG kind of managers, talking about how can we make the GDG program as vibrant as it can be. So there'll be extra incentives for people who become GDE to perhaps travel around the country and speak at different events or different GDG groups in different states. It sounds pretty cool.
How many GDG groups in total are there around the country?
The country.
I think there's about 30
some, 35 or so. Yeah, there was almost 100 people who came to the summit. I think there's 150 organizers. They just sent a note out. Globally, there are 108 countries represented, 500 GDG groups. It's pretty exciting, the activity that's happening internationally as well, because there's not always kind of the vibrant tech community that there is in the Twin Cities, where you could go, if you wanted to, you could go every night of the week and get free pizza, learn about code in the Twin Cities, and that's not always the case in developing countries. So to have a hub of developers is pretty exciting.
I was surprised to hear there's only about 128 Google developer experts globally.
Wow.
So there are more GDGs than GDGEs, or GDEs. So here it is. It's software creation, content creation, so writing about it, blogging, forum participation, speaking engagement, and then lastly, community engagement.
So I think we will post either the nomination form, or if you have anybody in mind, just send me or Jeff or Stephen or Brad, who Brad can't make it tonight, an email, and we'll kind of get that process hooked up. Yeah, so next month is at Coco, then we'll have the Google I/O event, and then we're starting kind of a new, not calendar year, but in some sense, academic year of GDG. So we might start doing some more traveling shows, where we've got some places, not Smart Things, what's your, This Click has expressed interest in hosting GDG Meetup, MentorMate as well. So I think it'd be nice to get around town. If you have a company that would like to sponsor one of these evenings, let us know, and we'll kind of, we like to plan out a few months in advance so that we're not scrambling around at the last minute, because that never happens.
And really the kind of the two criteria that we're trying to look for is bigger spaces with kind of better tech. And then obviously if you want to sponsor pizza, drinks, beers, things like that, that would be definitely appreciated.
Yeah. And then topics. So this, we're a group for the community, by the community. So if you've got a topic that you're kind of excited about, even if you're not an expert, if you wouldn't hang yourself out as like, oh, I'm the Twin Cities expert in Cloud SQL or whatever, but if you're just learning about it and it's kind of cool and it's exciting, I think actually those are the more interesting topics. Not to suggest, but I think that's more of where it's coming from. It's kind of a cool topic, and I'm excited to hear about it. So with that, I think that's enough housekeeping. And enjoy the pizza, and Stephanie can introduce yourself more as to where you're.
Sweet.
Oh, and this is also the first event that we're trying to live stream and record. So, only great questions.
No pressure. No pressure. All right. So, like Lloyd said, I'm not a software developer. I'm not an expert. So that's kind of the disclaimer. I just really like technology. I work for a technology company at MentorMate. I'm an operations manager, so I'm around techies and nerds all day. I'm always like, what are you talking about? It looks so cool. So that's kind of how I got into this and wanted to do this presentation. I know I've worked with Lloyd and Steven and the rest, Jeff and Brad, for the DevFest conference, so I'm really pumped to kind of do this. So why Chromecast? When it first came out, I was one of the first people to get it, and I plugged it in, and it just amazed me. And I was like, how does this work? So there wasn't much, I guess, guides or any sort of literature that I could read up on, and now there is. There's a lot more, but you still can't really like Google how to build a Chromecast app. Like there's nothing like that out there. So I figured I'd get started. I'd use Steven kind of as my backbone and have him tutor me on basic developer concepts and get started like that. So you guys might know like some of the basic Chromecast apps. So there's Netflix, which allows you to stream videos right off of the Netflix website with your, the app installed in your phone. And then you've got Plex, which kind of does a similar thing, but it does music and books and whatnot. And you can just hook it up to your server, I think, and it just streams like that. So those are some examples, just the more generic kind. There's also a new kind of set of Chromecast apps that are coming out. One example is to humanize your friends. So if you've ever played Cards of Humanities, this is basically the online version. So you can all hook up to the same Chromecast device and basically play with your friends. So it's super cool. I haven't seen any other ones like that. So if you guys have an Android device, feel free to download it. Maybe we can play some at the end. But yeah, that's that one. Basically, the way it works from the research that I did is there's a center application that lives on your mobile device, whether it's your phone or your tablet or whatnot. And it talks up to the cloud, and it sends a message over to your Chromecast device, which is plugged into your television, basically. And that's how they communicate and they stream. So there's both the center application that you can design and build and whatnot and customize, and then the receiver app, which is how it displays on the screen. So like right now, this is the receiver app. So I'm displaying my Chrome tab on the screen. There's no like sort of UI functionality, really. It's just the default. So like I said, there's the receiver, which runs on the television. And there's the default, there's styles, which basically just make it look pretty, change the colors, that kind of stuff. And there's a complete custom one where you can add additional functionality and things like that, like the Humanize application that I showed you guys. And then sender apps, you can do it from your Android device using either Studio or Android Studio or Eclipse. You can do it on your iOS phone as well or device. And then there's a Chrome receiver app as well that you can just basically just edit with a text editor using JavaScript and HTML, that kind of stuff. So really pumped when I found this out. I was like, this is easy, I got this. So I was like, Chromecast all the things. I'm going to stream video and music and my blog. I'm going to build a game app. And so I got started. So there's basically 5 steps. I'm like, easy, I got this. So step 1, you have to register yourself as a Google developer. So you pay the $25 and then you register your Chromecast device and then your application. You can do this later as well. Basically, that number, the application ID that it gives you, is something that you'll reference in your code later on if you want. So you don't have to do that particular step first, but you do have to register yourself. It is a one-time deal. And step 2, so I found out that Google allows you to host, basically. So you don't have to pay for a server or anything like that. So this is optional if you have a server, if you have a different sort of setup, go for it. I just thought, you know, I'm looking for a free solution. Also, I went to Google I/O last year and I got hooked up with a Chrome Pixel. So I cannot run any Windows software on it, basically. So I'm like, what can I do that doesn't require that? So this is a nice option. Basically, you just create a folder, you share it, make it public so that anybody can see it, and then you add files within that folder. And then on top of that, so once you basically have your files in there, you can preview the index.html file, and it'll actually display the website for you. So it's just like a website right there. You're hosting it there for free, so it's great. Again, like I said, so I had the running on the Chrome OS, so I have to download from the Chrome Web Store a text editor, because otherwise I would have to, again, run on Windows, something like that. So that's the tools that I use to kind of edit my files and make it work. So in step 3, Google has a GitHub account, basically, where they have all these like template files that already comes with all the stuff that you need. It's a very basic functioning application. So I figured, you know, mobile apps are kind of the thing right now, start with that. And then I went ahead and I installed all the programs, and I downloaded Android and Eclipse, and I had no idea what they were or which one I should choose. So it was a complete disaster. I had a breakdown, the JDK couldn't find it, then I changed some, what is it called? A path, what is it called? I can't, yeah, .path file. And then I broke everything, and so I'm like, screw this, I'm done, call it quits, I'm not doing the presentation. And then I found the Chrome app receiver. So I was like, this is easier, I can do HTML, let's play around with that. So I kind of took a couple steps back. So if you are scared, like with iOS, or you only know Android or something like that, not a big deal. You can kind of start here and go from there, like I did. So I was really excited. I got it to work. I just downloaded all the files, and it just worked, right? So they make it really easy for you to just get started and then go from there and kind of customize it. So kind of about the technical pieces, it's something that a lot of people might think that is simple or just it's obvious, but your sender and the receiver devices have to be connected to the same Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you're going to be wondering why they can't talk to each other. And so it might be easy or something simple or common sense to you guys, but again, this is just a little side note. So their UI they have this like checklists and guidelines that you are to follow for both the sender and the receiver applications. They call these cast states, these particular ones, and basically it's just the display to the user showing the status on the connectivity between the device and your application. So there's these 4, and if you know, like, so once you are connected, it'll like highlight the little icon on the top right. So that's what the little thingy is right here. And you might have seen it when playing with applications. So it'll highlight it depending on what status it is and if it's connected or not. So you're supposed to let the user know exactly where it's at. And then there's cast sequence. You can either connect and then play a streaming video or music or file or whatever, or you can do it the other way around. It's just the 2 session starters that they advise on. So here's all the Cody stuff. So I took notes, so bear with me. Basically, this is the initialization. So what it does is it calls out the receiver app. So if you have a receiver app build that's custom, then that's where the number goes in. And so this is optional right here. The app ID, so you plug it in and it says, hey, you know, use this app ID, this pretty little app that you built. Otherwise, it just launches the standard default application. And then it requests a session, says, hey, can we start talking, hanging out? And then it says, hey, can you run the API for this so that we can run the program? That's basically the first step of code. And this all comes with the preloaded files that you get from GitHub, so it's very easy. After that, there's a callback, so it either basically lets the user know or the developer know, in essence, whether it was successful, if there was an error, or what sort of status this is. So you'll use this for debugging. Then there's a device selection. So we'll basically say, hey, what Chrome application devices are available? This is the one I'd like. That's what that code does. And then launching the app. So essentially, it'll start a session with your device using your application and launch there's different things you can do with media. I downloaded the video one, so that's why these are kind of applicable. But there's a play media function that runs, and you can pause it, you can resume it, you can play, you can seek certain files, basically do a search on a media file, or you can stop the media. And then finally, one thing that they recommend is having a termination, basically a way for you to stop application. This doesn't disconnect your device from the session. It just basically stops whatever you're doing. And there's this big Chrome Sender API library. They have this for iOS as well as Android, like I said. So it basically outlines different functionality that you can add to both your sender and your receiver applications. So media control is one that I went over, which is a stop, pause, and things like that. There's a media status where it says, you know, how far along you are in the video, so if you want to display that or not. There's session management, so basically which device do I want to connect to, or if it just connects to one particular device. And then there's also volume control where you can do that right within the application. So it was a good start. It's definitely a learning experience. I've never coded in my life, so it's definitely interesting. And if you have any questions, let me know. I would love to show you how I did it and kind of run the application that I did and a little minor customization that I added to it. And then from there on, we can either do some sort of workshop and actually walk step by step, basically what I outlined, or we can chat and hang out. So I'm going to show you that really quick.
This is your first coding act.
Yes. JavaScript a little bit. I like the Chrome version because HTML is very easy and there's a lot of literature on it. JavaScript is a little more advanced. I mean, I did learn some of it, but not as much as I'd like to, I guess. Because with the GitHub, it comes with all of the functionality that you need. So I tried playing in terms of like more of the UI, which is what interests me personally. So basically, this is the index file along with all the other files that are already hanging out in my folder. And when you click preview, it maybe will show. Oops.
Oh, that's great. That's an interesting challenge. Can you Chromecast it? I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think so. I don't know if it's even working because I'm casting the tab.
Can't find the white. Yeah. So, yeah, that second one's not being connected. It's being bad. So we're just using there. Use the other.
Huh.
Yeah. And I think Chromecast is actually having problems with their developer API. I logged in about 10 minutes ago and it set up spam. And then I refreshed and I'm spam. What's that? No. I'm sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
Steven, do you know how to just show the screen? Apparently you can't cast when you host from Drive. So it's only allowing me to cast Drive, not the tab.
I think it's worth mentioning. I don't know if you mentioned that. I don't think it's streaming directly from the device, though. Essentially, the video usually streams from another source on the that's only this number.
Yep.
You can stream from the device if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
this one doesn't.
It's a little like some Kush. You know Kush is?
Yeah,
I don't know.
all have.
Yeah. So what he did is he built a little like web server into that.
It is.
But
Generally speaking, web server.
generally speaking, yeah. And so, like, for example, the SDK that you download comes from all the content is publicly hosted. But I mean, there's some weird rumors out there. Like, there's rumors that the Android will use Chromecast with the Google Cast SDK for mirroring as of Android 5.0. Who knows? I mean, these are just rumors, but I mean, they need an answer to It's terrible.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you guys have had good luck with mirroring anything.
I can mirror out my MacBook, my TV. I find the most of I have really nice MacBook Pro. You know, I tried it with something like my wife's phone book. One time I tried to do like a mirror. No sound, just no sound. No, that's not. I guess that's what I do. I get down to I get down to your.
I don't know if it'll work
I actually find it
with this one.
Yeah.
Should we take this?
We'll plug you into here.
Oh my God.
Coco doesn't mind. It's just completely changing their
Configuration,
right?
yeah.
No, of course not. As long as that's exactly how we found that. Even though overall, like Chromecast popular, I'm not hearing a whole lot.
It is in terms of like users and people purchasing the device, but I haven't heard much from a coding perspective. There's not a lot.
I'm just talking about using it.
Oh yeah.
For just, there's nothing more than just watching video. Are people bringing content in through a Chromecast, or are they using other devices?
Absolutely, but I think it's mostly like the tech savvy kind of groups, if you will.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
do you remember which HTML was from?
3 was,
3?
yeah.
3 is the Chromecast? There's only a finite number of them. We'll get there eventually.
It's 3.
So, plug into 3 right now?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get back to the Chromecast.
Yeah?
Okay, I didn't answer.
I don't know why it's not working. Yeah, technology. I'm gonna change the one after the switch.
Which HTML port is this? Is it plugged into 3? I'm gonna unplug it, plug it back in again. Turn it off and turn it on again. Yeah. 4?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So,
But I can't.
so this is your computer.
I can't pass.
This
Okay,
is your computer.
got it.
This is your destination. You good?
Is it connected?
So you're casting that tab right now.
I cannot cast this tab. I can't cast the tab.
We already have it. You're casting your image.
So stop casting? Okay. So that's basically the application. A lot of it was default. I did things like change the background color and make the buttons red. I tried hiding the bottom debugger, but I couldn't. So those are my little struggles, and I'm still playing with it. But I believe
Your Chromecast is now smaller.
I'm Chromecasting. I'm trying to Chromecast to this. So this is my screen right now. But I'm trying to Chromecast. Maybe.
Just put on the hockey game.
Oh no! Load. Bomb trap? Bomb trap. I did.
This is why we're looking for new space. How far away is it?
Your office is on the south side of the room? Yep.
I broke it.
You broke it.
I broke it. I must have broken it. I don't know why it's not working.
Is it, I don't know if I'm right up on it. Did you do I think it's Robert Street.
Was it Chromecast still used?
We're in, all right, well, the guy's there. What is that?
But I'm crafting something, but I'm not.
How do you Chromecast do it?
You hit launch app and it launches application in the screen.
Can you?
I mean, if it's stuck here, I think it's the Wi-Fi. Yeah. And then launch app.
Looking north from the south side.
That's better than it was doing before. It says, it even says that it's connected.
But we would need a data port for Ethernet.
To get to
Because the Chromecast doesn't need a Wi-Fi network. It needs a data network.
Right?
We want to stop hanging out. Can you put that as a wired connection out to? You want to be the mothership?
Well, while we're solving some technical problems, I'm remembering one of the other things that we did now. You want to get that set up? And, of course. All right. So it's always, as a group of really smart, interesting folks, we occasionally get requests for availability of things. So usually we like to spend some time at the beginning to offer if anybody is looking for a position or is looking for a talent to raise your hand and say something. Is anybody looking?
It's your company looking for talent, so they can.
You're looking for talent? You want to explain who you are and what you're looking for?
My name is Holly. I work for this place.
Yeah, I don't know how to get that on your phone.
We're looking right now for one Android person, full-time, one iOS person, full-time, and one web developer. I think John Association. So we're absolutely hiring and it's actually available as well.
Downtown St. Paul.
Just across
So this one is a York.
St. Paul, and you just straight for
We'll check putting this one on here.
This is pretty cool stuff. So I'll get Colin. Any of that sound interesting? Anybody else? Yeah?
Senior software engineer, and right now I'm in contract with some C++, Java, C#, C. I've been programming for over 30 years. So if anybody knows that anybody is ready to give me a job.
Anybody know the WebGL? Somebody in Des Moines was just looking for some expertise in that. I told them to post to the Meetup board. I think we kind of got a number of different channels to reach out on, and I've kind of just been referring people to post to the Meetup board rather than me or any of us kind of endorse a particular job. So that, I guess, look for that. What's your name?
John Stanley.
John. So if John's talent sounds interesting, reach out to him. Anybody else with positions or looking? All right. Post to the Meetup discussion board, and you can go there else to our Google Plus community, which has a little less vibrancy right now, but we're trying to move more to that. Are we getting close?
No.
No?
We don't have a working Wi-Fi.
All right. What else do we know?
Your phone is disconnected.
Who's in the NFC here?
Can you Chromecast to that?
Yeah, right?
You probably get the audio going up there. You can actually Chromecast that? I don't know about Chromecast too, but you can, it's Bluetooth, NFC.
Yeah?
Yeah. Got a phone that's, Android or? You have to hit the security prompt.
How are you gonna get that code into the Chromecast?
Okay, what code?
Bluetooth and the speaker, so you can verify it.
Phone is
There
connected.
you go, that plays something.
Play something.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Audio. YouTube, whatever. There you go.
Nice. Is that the Snoopy sound?
You control the volume from there or here?
No. Well, I bet both.
Very cool.
So let's see, one of the other things that we sort of talked about was one of the, it's from Prague, the idea of the GDG garage. So one of the new ideas that they're trying to come up with is the, you guys give it up on that? Okay.
I think so.
All right. There's an idea of having a what they're calling a GDG garage, which would be a hyper-local GDG event. So kind of like getting together in your neighbor's garage and hacking on something and making something interesting. So there's a rough framework about that. If that sounds interesting, we will also post that information, I guess, through our various channels. But you are encouraged to self-initiate that. If getting together for a Saturday afternoon and hacking on something at a coffee shop or on your back deck now that the weather's nice, that's kind of what the format for that is.
And so I'm trying to actually start one of these on the idea is Saturday morning at like 11 for a couple hours. So I haven't actually picked time yet or place, but just trying to kind of kick it off and see how it works. Just kind of people coming together, working on projects, learning from each other.
What are you trying to do? Google Garage Space?
Yeah, yeah.
We can always post something.
Sure.
I have something else. Yeah. We're working in Golang on some open source projects. Working on a tool called Fruits, which is a ability tool around Docker and some other stuff. So we've been doing a decent amount of Golang work. We're looking to try to see where else we can kind of extend the tool further. So if there's any folks who are interested in open source work, come bother me, whatever.
I'll throw down an announcement. June 21st, 22nd, it's the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We're having the Hack for Minnesota, hackformin.org. This is a civic hacking, hackathon event where people come together and make teams, develop software for the public good using public data. We had teams last year, go so far as to make everything with Intel Accelerator nationally. One went to the White House for a reception. Very, very impressive what came out of last year. 75 hackers and community people showed up. So this year we're having it there at you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Free food, free T-shirts, free drinks, and just a lot of fun.
And then you sure on that you said
I did, and I found out one day later that they changed the date on me.
Okay.
I feel bad about that, but we're correcting everybody. Yeah, now it's 21st.
Where do you get more info?
hackformin.org. Exciting new data sets from NASA and Department of Ed.
Oh, good.
Speaking of data sets, the R users group, it's a statistical language. They've got a data challenge. They're starting this new trend of having a data challenge every couple months. So they'll share a data set in one meeting, and then the next meeting, people will go over what they came up with as part of the analysis of that data set. Might be an interesting way to get the data looked at by the R users and feedback into a virtuous cycle of awesomeness. Even if you don't get a virtuous cycle of awesomeness, they had a neat data set the last time, security-related data, and they had 9 different servers around different Amazon cloud zones, and they recorded all the hits and where they came from for like 9 months or a year or something. And it's really pretty cool visualization they came up with where you saw all these different countries and saw these little streams of almost constant attack, connection attempts coming out of different countries, and then we visualize different like port scans as bigger bubbles that we're shooting towards the different of the 9 Amazon servers. So like when Vietnam, there could be the port scans like a whole bunch of network, all of them, a whole bunch of machines, all the ports, all went across the screen and
I don't think so.
from China and from other places that you expect.
Oh.
I think one more thing to this. Started talking a little bit about with Lloyd, but I mean, just the idea that this is a community group. I think one of the things that we're kind of very open to is more community feedback. One of the challenges we've been running into is kind of running out of space from these meetings. So, and we kind of historically had this idea of swapping every month, doing a workshop versus a lecture and things like that. Are people liking that? I mean, should we be doing more sessions? Should we be doing a session and a half a month? Are there topics that we're not covering, Angular, Polymer? We also do these kind of co-sponsored events with Gusto, with Jeff Jam and things like that. What do you guys think about those?
So I'm going tomorrow, there's the Angular Youth Meetup. So pretty wide open, like few months into it. I presented them what they go. So it's pretty wide open, it's pretty good.
How many people are there?
About 40 plus, in the meeting.
Okay.
Otherwise, going on. I think tomorrow is Mike, Nutter is going to talk about his teaching code 42. Tomorrow is 5.8, the regular. I did a presentation on HTML5, which drag and drop feature. So that's going pretty well, and I'm not sure how it's going to play.
I mean, Minnesota, just really underscores, Minnesota has a great tech community. I mean, it's getting better. I don't know if you guys think that. I do.
And the friends on board that kind of development sections, people that kind of thing.
For now, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait to throw it all away again for you.
Right. Let's go on to code lab.
Like 69 months, I look at that thing.
Any other feedback on like the frequency of meetings? Do you guys want to see more meetings, fewer meetings?
Yes.
All right.
You move on to the workshop or?
Sure.
Yeah, if we can get. Did anyone download that Dehumanize Your Friends game? I did already. Do you want to try connecting to this classroom?
No, it's actually Chatler. Oh, I guess this one's Classroom, sorry. Yeah, this one's not even showing, displaying on my. Like, I don't have visibility to that one because it's.
Oh, I'm connected to Jeff's iPhone.
All right, so we got this.
I got it.
You're hosting it?
I guess I'm not. The Chromecast is actually hosting it.
Okay. So we're gonna have a live demo of a Chromecast app. Is that what's happening?
I got the Wi-Fi there.
All right.
It's like apples to apples. Yeah, for terrible people.
Press ready one.
Like you gotta get these 2 more players.
So how do you? Okay, so for the complete noobs in the group.
So there's an app in the Google Play called Dehumanize Your Friends.
So I have to download an app.
Yes.
Like an Android app.
Yep.
All right.
And then you'll get to a screen that's like this. To the launch screen.
Classroom, game room, or live?
Classroom. Where we are right now. Calling the shot, Dumbo. Alright. So I think because you were the first person, you can actually start the game.
Okay. Alright, I'll start it.
So I apologize about the inappropriate nature of the game. I didn't build it. Oh, where'd you go?
Where we go?
Oh, he left. Where'd you go?
I thought we were just updating my name. Oh, it says that I'm still ready. I don't know. It says my old name.
Turn off and turn on again?
Both issues.
It's like Windows. Well, it's not just Windows. See, what I've decided is, like, I run Linux most of the time. Yeah. I think it crashes just as much as Windows or Mac. I'm just It's really my fault growing up like that. Why didn't I read some house Chromium every night? Why did I create a project? Are we ready, guys? Yeah, go for it. All right, there's 4 of us here. Lloyd, do you want to radio?
You're what now?
Yeah, hit the ready button.
I am ready. Okay. But don't you want to write in your Chinese food?
So you all have like little cards.
Okay.
But you're the judge, you have no card.
Oh, okay. I need to pick one?
Yeah. It's like apple apple.
What are we doing?
So 3 of us pick cards, and you have to pick which one's the best or funniest.
Oh, I missed the question. What don't you want to find over the door?
No. So peace is just got a point.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
Pretty bad.
All right, so now I'm the judge. Okay. The CIA now interrogates enemy agents by repeatedly subjecting them to blank.
Yeah, this is not safe for work here.
That's what you worry. All right, we got the CIA now interrogates enemy agents by repeatedly subjecting them to a monkey smoking a cigar, sassy black woman, peeing a little bit, Lance Armstrong's missing testicle. We got a winner.
Okay. All right.
I'm a terrible person, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so.
How was the work?
We'll do one more round, and then we'll turn it back to the workshop. No, so you
Cards
so
here.
it changes every time. So
I'm not-
right now, Lloyd.
What do old people smell like?
I got it. I think I won this one. No, I think I won this one. You did? What do old people smell like? Windmill full of corpses, survivor's guilt, seduction, or a gypsy curse?
I'm right with the good curse.
I know what I got.
Oh.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's a lot of practice.
So in the background, the explanation for this, somebody developed an app that only runs on Chromecast?
Yep. So this is a custom receiver that they built. So they built all this UI, the human as your friend, this UI. And then it's got an internal state of whose turn it is, what cards have been played, as well as all the people that are connected to it. So there's a lot you can do with Chromecast that isn't just sending videos, pictures.
So is that particular one HTML?
So they use the Android SDK. There's another app that that's on. The Android on. That's cool.
Yeah, you have to pay for premium to get colors.
Right. Color.
So that's pretty cool.
How many people here actually have a Chromecast?
Dude.
Who doesn't have a Chromecast?
They're like $35.
Yeah.
30 on Amazon.
30 is too late.
Oh.
All right.
I think it's like 30.
Yeah. There's more than one.
So when it first came out, it had a lot of these.
That's so weird.
So they like 4%.
If you're already ordering one, you might as well order 3, right?
I know. That was my loss.
So just a computer trying to get Python virtual like built on and running and everything. And it's like, for $30, this isn't even worth my time.
Here we go. So what happened was when they originally developed the Chromecast, it had this SDK that they were able to crack, and they came up with all these like fake versions, like Leafcast and Cheapcast and things like that, that acted as the receiver, the actual receiver application, not just the receiver HTML. But then they completely rewrote that actually can't do that.
So I have a question about that actually. Back in the early days, VLC had an account to play arbitrary video through the Chromecast.
Yeah.
Google flipped the switch, VLC got that. I didn't really care about the drama around it. My question is that sort of integration still possible? Can I do streaming from an app like VLC?
It's possible, but it's hard, right? Because your VLC has to host the file.
Sure.
So it has to respond to HTTP request on the Chromecast.
Coding or something.
Yeah, I mean, VLC is very good at transcoding. And then the other challenge is you don't have the benefit of the libraries that they gave you, so either the JavaScript library or the iOS, Android.
Oh, but if you can live with that, then the sky's the limit.
Yeah. And then you have to go get your app approved by Google to work online.
Well, did you have something for, like, getting people started?
I can, it's hard with not showing
Not being
this.
able to show anything.
Yeah.
Can we mirror your screen? But that was kind of tentatively on the schedule to have a workshop for people to build their own Chromecast app. I think it'd be interesting.
But I'm not actually seeing them in so who here has a laptop and not built a Chrome app or a Chromecast?
It was very not.
It's not.
Mhm.
Not. Right. I mean, you guys wanted to do that right now?
Can you build one collaboratively? Is that easier than?
Sure. Well, no, the idea is we'll do it and we'll follow up. Right.
Can we use this cable somehow?
Yeah, we can stream that.
So let's just do.
I thought YouTube is Chromecast. YouTube app is a Chromecast vendor. It does not host any of the video.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get
Yeah, Chromecast is a fantastic piece of technology, but I don't know what you're going to share. It disconnects weird sometimes and doesn't connect. So, like, I built an app like 3 weeks ago, and I've tried really hard to build it the right way, follow all their SDK patterns and all that.
It was just
But the way
really
I found
funny
it is
too when I
hit
connected.
connect, and then if it doesn't work, reload. And after 2 or 3 times, it'll work. Don't know why. Is that about the level of quality you guys are experiencing?
Sometimes, not stop to work fully by itself. Kind of middle of the app is the network was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't really know what the deal is.
And so we were at Brad and Jeff, Lloyd and myself were at the summit. One of the people there is the developer relations guy for the Chromecast. And so most of the Google developer relations people are public facing, but he basically talked to 6 companies. It was like Netflix, HBO Go, etc. So all those companies, they have one person to go to that will help them build their application at Google. So that's probably why in general those applications were of a higher quality. Right, because they get early access to the SDK, and then when their code doesn't work. What's new though? They don't have it work.
Actually, be a work okay. Just if they were like in 30 seconds.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think
work pretty well if it connects the first time. If it doesn't do the initial connection from there, or like you're trying to switch.
Yeah, and then you kill the app, and everyone goes out, and that doesn't work. And then you unplug the Chromecast, and you plug it back in.
And then somebody like randomly connects to it somewhere else.
You guys use Flex? You use Flex? Flex is so exciting to me. I mean, I know it's closed source and not Google, but it integrates really well with Chromecast.
Okay.
Stream and transcode your local media to any information. Like it will actually act as a proxy, so you can access your home media server